to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, I'm pretty sure that you like the approval of other people. You like to be validated. You like compliments. You like to be known for being good at what you do. And who doesn't? But here's the key thing. Do you need it? Do you really need it? And there is a big difference between liking a compliment and needing a compliment, of liking validation and craving and needing validation. They're big differences. And the client I was working with in this particular session you're about to hear, they had reached the point where they felt ashamed that they really needed it and they craved it and they had to have it. And this is designed to get them to a very different place where they can like it and appreciate it, but not need it. And there's something very liberating and empowering of not needing to be liked, but liking to be liked. Not needing the approval of other people, but quite liking when you do get the approval of other people. It's a game changer. So if you can connect and resonate with any of these things I'm talking about here, you might get some real value from this session. Now, it was created for an individual. Some of the things are going to be very relevant for them and not quite relevant for you. So if you like the idea of working with me, I would encourage you to look in the description. And there, what you'll be able to do is to take a suitability test or watch a quick webinar where I explain all the elements of what it would be like to work with me. And that webinar is completely free. So check them out. They're in the description of this episode. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a wonderful feeling of calm, relaxation. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release not just tension, but any feeling of expectation, pressure. Just allow it to leave your body as you breathe out. And when you breathe in deeper than you normally would. But imagine breathing in a bright color that represents worthiness. Pure, distilled worthiness. Maybe it's a bright color like the color of the sun, or maybe a different color but bright and vibrant. And as you imagine breathing in that distilled worthiness, it starts to melt away unworthiness. Some people have stories as to why they're not valuable enough, good enough, important enough, educated enough. And as you breathe in that bright, distilled worthiness, imagine it melts those stories away. And just imagine what's left of those melted stories starts to leave your body in your outward breath, and make that outward breath longer. A long exhale. And those feelings of unworthiness leave your body in your outward breath. Some people believe that the body keeps the score, that moments of deceit or shame are kept inside the body. And I want you to scan your body for any clues as to where that shame or unworthiness is hiding. Sometimes it's in the chest or the gut, sometimes in the head or the heart. And maybe you can notice where it is, or just allow your unconscious to find it for you. But as you breathe in that distilled worthiness, imagine releasing echoes of shame, of sadness, of inferiority. And again, allow it to leave your body in those long outward breaths. And then it means that the deeper you breathe, the more worthy you feel. And the longer you exhale, the more you get to release echoes of the past. You are not your past. You are not your childhood. You are you. And as you release the shame, the criticism of the past, perhaps it feels like you're getting lighter. And sometimes you might detect a twitch or a sensation, a movement in your body. And that might be because that's where that shame or unworthiness is hiding somatically in your body. So as you release it, you can feel lighter, less rigid, more released. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed and aligned you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. Breathing in more of that distilled worthiness. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens, and I want you to think of a moment in your past that you did feel worthy. You did feel enough. And float back to that memory and see that version of you. Imagine observing that worthy version of you and notice that you didn't need to be any more educated. You didn't need to be slimmer. You didn't need to be anything more than you already was. You were enough exactly as you were. And when you're back at that memory, observing that worthy version of you, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Just find that worthy version of you, and then as I count down from 5 to 1, imagine stepping into a time when you've never felt so worthy. You've never felt as enough as you did in that moment. 5, getting closer. 4, observing your facial expressions and posture. And 3, touching that version of you. And then 2, walking inside that version of you. And 1, embodying that version of you. Feel what it would feel like to be worthy, enough, sufficient, accepted. Notice how you breathe when you're worthy. Notice there is no desire to embellish, exaggerate, or fabricate when you feel enough. You don't need the validation, approval, or attention of other people when you already feel worthy and enough. But let's change a pattern that's been harming you, eroding your confidence and self-esteem. I want you to think of a memory in your past where you lied, you fabricated, perhaps to get the approval, validation, or influence of someone else. But to begin with, go back to that memory and just observe what happened, not changing it, just observing it. What did you say and how did you say it? And just observe that version of you in your past telling that lie. And when you've seen what actually happened, let me know by nodding your head. Observe it like you're someone invisible in the room just watching you. Not in your body, just seeing it. And then rewind it. Rewind it. Step into that version of you. And then imagine saying the same thing. Not different. Exactly the same. But imagine the moment that that lie, that fabrication leaves your lips. I want you to feel a sense of responsibility tied to a decision, a new standard that you will hold yourself to, a standard that you will never lie. You will never fabricate to enhance the perception that others have for you. But that standard is only a standard when you take accountability, when you break that standard. So imagine saying whatever you said back then. And then publicly apologize for it. Imagine the words leaving your lips. That wasn't true. I made that up. I don't know why I said that, but it wasn't true. And just allow yourself temporarily to feel that awkwardness, embarrassment, accountability and responsibility. That's how you hold yourself to that higher standard. You will only share stories that are truthful and authentic, without exaggeration or embellishment. And only if you choose to. You don't need to. And therefore, if you do lie or fabricate, you will apologize fully and completely. In doing so, teaching that part within you. There is no benefit to using deceit to generate false validation and approval. Rewind that moment one more time and imagine saying something that is true, honest, and authentic. Not to impress, but just to connect. It doesn't have to be something special or impressive. Just a moment, an experience. Just sharing what happened in your life. And if your unconscious is willing to hold yourself to that higher standard, imagine what your future will look like. Your unconscious will quickly believe that you don't need to lie to impress other people because you're already enough as you are. If you want to become better, more knowledgeable, more accomplished, it's not to impress other people, it's because growth feels good, accomplishment feels good. Allow yourself to set the intention of doing something impressive and not telling anyone about it. And that would mean that you get to hold on to the pride rather than lie to hold on to shame. You are not your mother. You are not your past. The way to break a generational pattern or curse is to hold yourself to a higher standard and stick to that standard. And as you hold yourself to that higher standard, imagine days turning into weeks, turning into months. Imagine confidence and self-esteem growing. Imagine seeing yourself happier and less stressed. And imagine that as confidence grows, you treat yourself better, being more active and eating better quality food and less of it. When people really love, respect, and take pride in themselves, the quality of their food is proportionate to how much they value who they are. So imagine that as weeks turn to months, your body shape changes because you like yourself more. And see how that would change in your workplace over the next few months. More confidence, more self-acceptance. You're feeling comfortable in your own skin. No need to fabricate or embellish. You share what's real, what's authentic, with no agenda to impress. The less you impress, the more you carry all of those qualities within. You are enough, and you don't need to be seen. The only person that needs to acknowledge your progress is you. Just imagine floating back to your present, taking these changes with you. A wonderful feeling that you are willing to hold yourself to a higher standard. And each time you listen to this, you will think of a different memory where you've lied. You will feel the shame or embarrassment of apologizing for it. And you will make a resolution, a promise with yourself to hold yourself to that higher standard. Never lying, never trying to impress others with things that aren't true, and only sharing real stories with real people that are real, authentic, and genuine, and choosing to be humble and having humility if you decide to do it. Floating back to the present, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.